For the first time on this channel, we're diving into the world of rogue games, titles full of tension, challenge, and that addictive one more try feeling. Even better, every game is pixel art. So enjoy this list of 12 perfect pixel art rogue games you need to play. One Step from Eden is one of those rogue games that look simple at first, but the moment you start playing, you realize how intense and chaotic it really is. The world has been devastated by a massive war, and the only safe place left is Eden. Everyone is trying to reach it, but the path is filled with deadly creatures, dangerous bosses, and non-stop combat. Every run feels like a desperate attempt to survive just a little longer. The combat is easily the highlight. Inspired by Mega Man Battle Network, battles happen in real time on a grid, while you dodge attacks and cast spells that work like cards from a deck. 2 spells are always ready, but you can shuffle your spell queue anytime to chase better combos. Between stages, you choose new spells, artifacts, and upgrades, shaping a completely different build every run. This mix of action and deck building is what keeps the game fresh and unpredictable. Each zone ends with a boss, and here comes one of Eden's coolest mechanics. You can defeat or spare them. Killing a boss gives extra experience and a strong upgrade, while sparing them may turn them into allies later, each offering unique advantages. It adds real personality to every encounter and makes each decision feel meaningful. As a roguelike, maps, enemies, rewards, and spell options are all procedural. Death is guaranteed, but it unlocks new characters, spells, and alternate hero versions that expand the game over time. With over 200 spells, dozens of upgrades, and 9 characters with different playstyles, there's always something new to experiment with. One Step from Eden is fast, challenging, and incredibly addictive. Downwell is one of the purest and most stylish rogue games out there. A fast vertical descent wrapped in striking pixel art. You play as a boy who jumps into a mysterious well at night and finds a dark underground world filled with strange creatures and constant danger. Your only tool is the iconic gun boots, letting you shoot downward, slow your fall, and blast enemies while navigating the chaotic tunnels. The game mixes platforming, shooting, and roguelike randomness with a clean, minimalist style. Its initial palette uses only black, white, and red, creating a sharp retro look. As you progress, you unlock new color schemes, including Game Boy greens and grayscale filters that add charm without changing gameplay. Each run is procedural. Enemy placements, shops, upgrades, and side rooms shift every time you play. Death is permanent, so each failure sends you back to the top with nothing. But the design encourages mastery. The more you play, the easier it becomes to maintain combos, dodge threats, and reach deeper floors. Combat focuses on timing. Jumping on enemies recharges your boots and keeps combos alive, while stage upgrades change how your gun boots fire or adjust your stats. You can play aggressively, destroying everything on the way down, or carefully, avoiding fights and rushing for safety. The system adapts well to both styles. Downwell balances difficulty and fairness with precision. It's fast, addictive, and extremely satisfying once you learn its rhythm. With tight mechanics, clever enemy design, and a low price, it remains one of the best and most polished pixel art rogue experiences available today. I don't really see many people talking about this game, but honestly, ScourgeBringer is incredible and way more fun than most rogue titles out there. It throws you into a world where a massive floating monolith appears above Earth, draining humanity and leaving almost nothing behind. After several failed expeditions, Kira becomes the next warrior sent inside, and every time she dies, she's sent back to the start, keeping only the upgrades from the permanent skill tree. From the moment you step into the monolith, everything is fast and aggressive. Rooms explode into bullet hell chaos, forcing you to dash, slash, shoot, and chain attacks in midair without ever touching the ground. The controls are extremely intuitive. Air attacks refresh dashes, dashes refresh jumps, and little by little, you start clearing rooms in a stylish, almost rhythmic flow. Each floor offers shops, secret rooms, altars, and special blessings that power up your build for that run. Items and weapon mods help Kira deal more damage or recover health, but real progress depends on skill. Just like in the original review, ScourgeBringer's difficulty can be overwhelming at first, bosses especially, but nothing feels unfair. You learn patterns, improve timing, and suddenly challenges that felt impossible become routine. It's a game built on repetition, but never the boring kind. The limited item pool means consistency, focusing the experience on mastery rather than luck. The pixel art is clean and atmospheric, and each biome has its own color identity that keeps the world visually fresh. The soundtrack blends metal-inspired energy with sci-fi undertones, matching the alien, mystical vibe of the monolith. Loop Hero is one of the most inventive rogue games ever made, blending RPG mechanics, deck building, and a mysterious time loop into a uniquely strategic experience. The world has been erased by a cosmic lich, trapping everything in darkness. A lone hero begins to remember fragments of the past, and every memory you restore rebuilds part of the world. Instead of controlling the hero directly, you shape his journey by placing cards that create forests, villages, roads, ruins, and dangerous areas. Each expedition is a circular loop the hero walks automatically. Enemies drop gear and terrain cards that let you modify the map in smart, tactical ways. Forests generate wolves. Villages heal and offer quests. Lighthouses speed movement, and special structures shift the balance of each loop. Harder paths give better rewards, encouraging you to push your luck while keeping an eye on how strong the loop becomes. Between runs, you return to camp, the heart of progression. Here, materials gathered during expeditions unlock new buildings, cards, stat bonuses, and even fresh classes like the Rogue and Necromancer. Each improvement opens new strategies, making every loop feel more dynamic and rewarding. One of Loop Hero's highlights is its deep interaction system. Cards influence each other in clever ways. Rocks form mountain peaks that boost max HP, vampire mansions transform villages into siege zones with powerful enemies, and enchanted forests awaken ancient guardians. Experimenting with combinations becomes a core part of the fun, offering endless possibilities. In Manaspark, humans are the only race born without mana, and that makes them targets. Hunted and treated as inferior, humanity is pushed to extinction. As Ellis, a lone archer, you gather survivors, rebuild a small camp, and fight back through procedural dungeons filled with deadly tactical combat. Every run is completely procedural. Rooms shift, enemy types rotate, and upgrades appear randomly, forcing you to adapt on the spot. One attempt might give you strong damage perks. Another focuses on speed or survivability. New heroes can be unlocked as you progress, like a fast crossbow user with weaker but rapid shots. Enemy interactions are a big part of the strategy. Monsters can hit each other, ride beasts, or combine attacks, creating chaotic but exploitable situations. Environmental traps also play both sides. They can save you or ruin your run, depending on timing and positioning. The challenge is tough but fair. Enemies telegraph their moves, and Ellis needs a moment to draw his bow so every arrow counts. Learning patterns and choosing when to attack or kite enemies becomes essential, and each victory feels deserved. At camp, NPCs cook meals, craft traps, offer stat boosts, and unlock runes that shape your next attempt. Death resets the run and sends you back to camp, but improvement is constant. Manaspark is all about precision, adaptation, and surviving a world where humans are at the bottom. With tight combat, smart procedural design, and tense encounters, each run feels unique, and every small victory pushes humanity one step closer to hope. Pixel Dungeon is one of those classic rogue games that absolutely blew up on mobile, and for good reason. It's simple on the surface, but incredibly deep once you start diving into its mechanics. Even though it became famous on Android and iOS, you can also play it on Steam, which is where I personally spent most of my time with it, and honestly, I ended up enjoying it way more than I expected. Each run drops you into randomly generated floors, full of traps, hidden rooms, dangerous creatures, and loot that can completely change your strategy. Pixel Dungeon is pure, old-school dungeon crawling, limited resources, brutal enemies, and the constant fear that one wrong step might end your entire run. What makes the game so addictive is how every decision matters. Do you identify that potion now, or risk drinking something harmful later? Do you dive deeper looking for better gear, or retreat before things get worse? That constant tension keeps the gameplay fast, challenging, and incredibly satisfying when things go right. Multiple hero classes, upgrade paths, and item interactions give the game surprising depth for such a minimalist pixel art style. And thanks to its procedural design, no two runs ever feel the same. Whether on mobile or Steam, Pixel Dungeon remains one of the most iconic, rewarding, and downright fun rogue experiences you can jump into, and it still holds up amazingly well today. Spirit's Abyss is one of those hidden gem roguelites that barely gets mentioned, but once you try it, you immediately see why it deserves way more attention. It may look like a simple retro platformer, but the moment you drop into the abyss, the game reveals a darker, chaotic, and surprisingly deep experience. Every run throws you into shifting caverns packed with traps, monsters, cursed loot, and branching routes that keep the tension high from start to finish. The procedural generation makes each descent unpredictable. Some runs feel manageable, while others quickly spiral into chaos with explosive enemies, collapsing floors, or sudden ambushes. The controls are tight, and the platforming demands quick reflexes and good positioning. Combat is fast and risky. Bombs, blades, and ranged tools all matter, and a single mistake can end the run instantly. Variety is one of the game's biggest strengths. You can unlock multiple characters, each with playstyles that change how you approach the abyss. Some emphasize agility, others raw damage, and a few introduce unique mechanics that refresh the experience every time you start a new run. Shops, altars, gamble rooms, secret passages, and cursed chests add even more unpredictability and strategy. The atmosphere ties everything together. Spirit's Abyss mixes eerie pixel art with moody music to create a world that feels dangerous but strangely charming. Exploration is always rewarding. Hidden relics, shortcuts, and weird surprises wait in the corners for players who take risks. Most importantly, the challenge is tough but fair. Each failure teaches you something, and every room cleared feels satisfying. That just one more run feeling hits hard, making the game incredibly addictive. There's no other rogue game that feels quite like Noita. Instead of giving you predictable spells or fixed mechanics, it hands you a world where every pixel follows real physics, and then dares you to survive the chaos you unleash. Fire spreads, liquids mix, gases ignite, and structures crumble the moment you poke them with the wrong spell. You play as a lone mage exploring dangerous, procedurally generated caverns filled with monsters, traps, toxic sludge, lava pools, and unstable terrain that can collapse at any moment. Every run is a chain reaction waiting to happen, and half the fun is watching the world react to your spells in ways you didn't expect. The real magic is in the wand crafting. Noita lets you collect spells and modifiers, then mix them to build wild creations. Rapid-fire lightning, bouncing explosives, toxic clouds, teleport shots, or a disastrous combo that backfires instantly. Tuning a wand feels like experimentation in a lab where everything is flammable. Noita is unforgiving, but never unfair. Most deaths come from curiosity or pushing your luck too far. Casting one spell too close, stepping into the wrong liquid, or triggering a massive explosion by accident. But each failure teaches you something, and that discovery loop is what makes the game so addictive. For players who love experimentation, emergent gameplay, and worlds that react to every tiny detail, Noita stands as one of the most creative and impressive roguelites ever made. Sometimes a game doesn't need a complex story to hit hard, and Colt Canyon proves exactly that. It throws you straight into a brutal pixel art Wild West where your partner has been kidnapped, and the only thing that matters is loading your gun, rescuing them, and surviving everything between. No big twists, no fancy cinematics, just pure, fast roguelite action. Colt Canyon uses procedurally generated maps viewed from a top-down perspective, where every run feels different. You choose your gunslinger, step into the desert, and decide how to approach each area. Rush forward and hope for the best, or explore every camp to find new weapons, ammo, upgrades, and even hostages that can join you as companions. It rewards curiosity just as much as skill. Combat is pure twin-stick chaos. You dodge behind rocks and trees, take shots from the shadows, blow up barrels, and switch between weapons to stay alive. Ammo is limited, the enemies are relentless, and one bad decision can end a great run instantly. But that tension is exactly what makes each victory satisfying. Colt Canyon also supports local co-op, turning the game into an even more frantic shootout. Covering each other, flanking enemies, or surviving ridiculous situations together makes the experience twice as fun. The pixel art is deliberately raw and gritty. Silhouettes, harsh contrasts, dusty tones, and that classic frontier vibe. Every shot leaves a trail of dirt and blood, making the combat feel violent and punchy despite the minimalist look. Dome Keeper does something interesting right from the start. It drops you on an unknown planet with nothing but a drill, a fragile dome, and the promise of incoming danger. There's no long introduction, no explanations, just the instinctive need to dig, gather resources, and survive. Every run becomes a race against time because the aliens will attack, and your dome is the only thing keeping you alive. Between each wave, you dig deeper through layers of soil, searching for the minerals that fuel every upgrade. Strengthening your suit means moving faster and carrying more. Improving your drill opens tougher terrain and lets you reach richer pockets of ore. And every upgrade counts, because when the warning siren hits, you need to be back at the dome, ready to control its weapons, whether that's a blade slicing through creatures or a laser heating up to fire a powerful beam. Time management is the heart of the game. Tunnels must be planned, resources must be prioritized, and sometimes abandoning a valuable load is the only way to make it back in time. Different soil types force you to adapt, and creating small resource piles for later trips quickly becomes a smart survival tactic. Defending the dome is always tense, and repairing damage or improving automated recovery often saves an entire run. The pixel art visuals and calm music contrast with the constant pressure, and the feeling of being trapped underground adds a quiet, suffocating atmosphere that follows you from the first minute to the last. Finding the ancient relic marks the end of a successful run, but each victory unlocks new upgrades, maps, and challenges, keeping the loop fresh. Revita builds its whole identity around one sharp idea. Your health is your currency. Every upgrade, relic, or weapon demands a piece of your life, turning each decision into a constant push and pull between power and survival. It's simple, but it makes every run tense and addictive. You play as a nameless boy who wakes up in a strange subway station, drawn toward a massive tower that seems to hold his lost memories. Each floor is a chain of tiny combat arenas where you rely on quick dashes, precise shots, and perfect timing to survive. Rooms last only a few seconds, keeping the pace fast and arcade-like. What makes Revita shine is how wildly different each attempt can be. One run you stack poison, in the next you focus on crits, or build around companions that shield you and fight at your side. There are rifles, machine guns, heavy-hitting weapons, defensive setups, tons of options to experiment with, and the game keeps rewarding you. After every defeat, you return to the station to unlock new relics, tickets, room types, and modifiers that reshape future runs. The presentation adds even more charm. The pixel art is expressive and moody, with soft lighting that sells the melancholic atmosphere. Bosses are intense, each representing a piece of the boy's emotional struggles, and the soundtrack shifts smoothly between calm and chaos. Revita is tough, stylish, and full of personality. The runs are short, the builds are varied, and the health for power mechanic keeps every choice meaningful. If you enjoy fast roguelike action with creative ideas and high replay value, this one is absolutely worth diving into. Easily one of the best roguelikes I've ever played, and probably the most famous one on this entire list. Wizard of Legend throws you into a fast, stylish magical tournament where only pure reflex and smart spell combos keep you alive. Clear stages, crush elemental bosses, and prove you deserve the legendary title. The combat is the star of the show. You start each run with a basic attack, a mobility dash, and 2 arcana, and from there the game becomes pure chaos, in the best way. Enemies never stop attacking, hazards fill the rooms, and staying still means death. It feels like a magical hack and slash running at double speed. What really makes the game shine is its huge variety of builds. With 100+ spells, artifacts, and cloaks, every run becomes something new. One time, I dashed through enemies leaving a trail of fire. Another, I pulled mobs into a tornado and wiped them with a lightning burst. Even similar arcana behave differently, making experimentation addictive. The difficulty ramps up hard. Elemental bosses hit fast, fill the screen with projectiles, and force you to adapt instantly, but beating them feels amazing. There's also local co-op, making the spell chaos even more fun. Visually, Wizard of Legend nails a clean 16-bit pixel art style with flashy spell effects and super smooth animation. And yes, Wizard of Legend 2 released this year, but honestly, I didn't enjoy it much, and it seems like a lot of players felt the same. It just doesn't capture the same speed, punch, or magic of the original. And that's the full list. Honestly, rogue games never run out of surprises, and these pixel art gems prove exactly that. If you've played any of them, let me know your favorite run in the comments. And if you discovered something new today, even better. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.